Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of No Place Like Homaha. I'm your host, JD Wonder, alongside Nick Hendricks and Mikey Love. We have a full staff today. Good job, guys.
Oh, Mike didn't. Never mind.
It was so close. So close.
Oh.
Then it wasn't.
What just happened?
I don't know. But
for those of you who aren't
can't even
watching
see
the
his
podcast,
picture.
Mikey
there he is.
Don't raise your voice ever again.
I never did.
I don't even know what the purpose of that was, but
well, it said
Classic
the meeting was being
victim.
recorded, so it said
Classic
leave
victim
or
mentality.
okay. So I said leave.
All right.
With
So
that,
to start then, I guess we should talk about Mikey's picks that he has. Mike, what do you got?
Oh, read them. I don't know. But
here, I got it.
He said, I don't know.
Here. So Mikey's teams are for the final 8 in Omaha pre-picked: Wake Forest, TCU, Vandy, Oregon State, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas State, and then of course we gotta throw this in there because he always does it: the Monarchs of Old Dominion.
Dude, say the name right.
I am saying the name right.
This is why I leave. So I don't show up. Because I have to deal with this bullshit every day.
Mark it explicit.
Goodness gracious.
Hurt myself.
I think we all had similar picks, which is interesting. But I mean,
you guys had Old Dominion too?
No.
Let's go.
No. Never in a million years will I have Old Dominion in Omaha.
I hope they come and they drag their gigantic lion wieners all across your face. Nothing would make me happier.
Yeah, they got to win their conference first, Mikey.
But we're at the top of the conference right now. Okay?
Undefeated. What are you, 3-0?
Yeah. What are you?
Well, for a lot
Duke
of teams,
is currently winning against Coastal. Score is 5-3 in the top of the ninth.
Okay.
Duke looking to finish
Duke
out.
It's bombs.
They're
already in double-digit bombs as a team. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Bud.
Heck yeah.
I will say this weekend has been kind of a little bit of a wild one. I mean, we've had a lot of upsets coming through. I mean, granted, it's the first weekend, so nobody's going to play extremely well, but we had a lot of upsets. Indiana this weekend has been kind of on fire. Lost first game to Duke on Friday. Able to pull an upset away from Coastal this weekend as well. LSU is still hitting the ball insanely well as they left off last week. And we got to talk about it. Chase Burns coming in throwing heat for Wake Forest.
Well, same with Brody Brecht. Guy started out 4.1 innings. He had 11 Ks.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Guy was lights out.
Run production this weekend, absolutely nuts. Coastal Carolina, day one against George Mason, 26-0. That is huge. A 20-0 score from UC Santa Barbara against Campbell. But the Camels, this is a team that we all underrate, and single
underrate them.
I would like to point out we all do until they get to the regionals, because Campbell came out and ended up taking this series against the number 17th ranked Gauchos. Wake Forest held strong this weekend. St. John's on day one pulls off an upset against the number 2 team in the country, the Florida Gators. That was huge. Texas A&M 15-0 over McNeese State on Friday. TCU had to go against on a walk-off, or I shouldn't say a walk-off. It was like a wild pitch.
I don't even know. It was a strikeout.
Yeah, pretty much. So
it was a strikeout though. Was it a swing and a miss?
It was a drop through strike.
Let's watch the replay real fast.
We don't need to watch the replay. It was
so he swung and missed. Oh, it was a high heater that he just straight up missed.
You're a high heater.
Yeah, it's a tough look. And then they threw it to first. First baseman runs into the guy running, and the guy from second scores. Yeah, so that's
crazy.
That is a tough look. And then speaking of, just talking about Duke, they hit 11
in one game.
The record is 14, set by Georgia Southern in 2008.
Set by Old Dominion.
Wrong.
Nope. We'll never be second in Dominion.
So
yeah, problem, bud.
Before we get into any like super interesting talk,
Arguments.
I have an honorable mention for Big Pimpin' Player of the Week. Sacramento State outfielder Matt Meschiangelo. He got hit 7 times out of his 8 at-bats.
That can't be Big Pimpin'. He's not hitting bombs.
He was literally getting slapped.
His on-base percentage for that game was out of this world.
Crazy.
If you look at it on MLB The Show, it would say infinity for on-base percentage.
So yeah, he was getting plunked quite a bit, but yeah. But our Big Pimpin' Player of the Week, we got to change out the sunglasses because I can't find the other ones.
Oh boy,
absolutely electric. So we're gonna talk a little bit, kind of the backstory to it. So 18 months ago, ECU baseball player Parker Byard lost his leg in a boating accident. Since the accident, Parker has been determined to get back to the field. After 22 surgeries and the loss of his leg, he finally was able to start, and he recorded his first collegiate hit with a prosthetic leg. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh, he did get a hit?
I love that for him. Yeah, he did.
Get a hit,
he got a hit, and then they immediately pinch ran for him because that, for obvious reasons. I don't know necessarily what the rule is for that, because I feel like you wouldn't have to burn a spot or anything. You could just be like, hey, our dude doesn't have a leg, so if he gets a hit off of you, he gets to just have a base run. I feel like every coach should be on board with that.
I feel like when you kind of look at this in the way that it is the first player with a prosthetic limb in college baseball, like I agree with you on the standpoint of you kind of have to play it around the rules because
there's got to be something special. It's like the Pat Venditti rule where it's like, you can't really address it until it happens.
Yeah, we've never seen this come across, but I mean that's a huge story for Byard being able to come back, and especially in his first at bat too. I believe he walked on his opening at bat for the season. But that's just a huge story for college baseball to have a guy be able to come back from something that traumatic and not put it or not be able to not let it get to him and be able to put past it. You know what I mean? That's
right,
what
and it just shows the absolute
Wording
determination that you're able to get through, you know? Like it's really incredible to see somebody be like, instead of, letting it be a detriment to them and be like, okay, well, I guess I'm done. It's gonna be like, no, I want to prove that I can still do this. And so hats off to him, and hopefully he still continues, a ride this season. Obviously looking at it, the power's not still there, but I mean, it's your back leg, so you're really not able to drive it down. But, to still have the incredible bat to ball skills to be able to drive it, it's pretty amazing to see. So that is our Big Pimpin' Player of the Week.
I would like to talk about, if you want a Big Pimpin' team performance of the weekend, this just happened earlier today. Poor Northwestern off to a great start once again. But Tulane baseball, 8th inning before even recording an out. A walk, a single, hit by pitch, 3 more walks, a grand slam, a first base scoring 7 runs to go up 12-7 over Northwestern. And before recording even an out in the 8th inning.
I don't consider that Big Pimpin'. I just consider Northwestern just the worst baseball organization continuing on.
Or
should probably be demoted after this season.
Or Northwestern.
They're bad. They're real bad. Speaking of Big Ten, though, I did want to look at this because this was hella interesting. So Michigan played Iowa. I don't know if that was Saturday or Sunday.
It was not today. Lehigh played Iowa.
So
played Iowa today.
Okay, so it must have been yesterday.
Figure it out.
Ball State played Iowa yesterday.
Figure it out, dude. Oh my god.
No, I'm not even the one feeding false information.
Pissing me off.
Then when was this from? I don't even know.
Watch it be from like last year.
Yeah, it's probably from last year.
It is from last year.
Let's gloss over it. So looking at other stuff though. Just moving right along. I'd say, yeah, those pitchers we kind of brought up earlier, making really good debuts. on the mound, already making an immediate impact on their team.
The freshman class this year has been unloading for teams. LSU has had a couple of hot freshmen come in. Nebraska so far, earlier today, they had a freshman arm on the mound as well. Nebraska does fall 1-2 on the weekend, ends up picking the first opening win up against Baylor at Globe Life Field for the Shriners Children's Classic, which is always a good tournament to watch. 4-1 against Baylor Friday. Saturday falls 6-3 to Texas Tech. And then today, this is where I think we got to talk about some of the flaw of Nebraska here is the bullpen in the back half has been a little bit shaky for Nebraska over the couple of years. And this time it was shakier again against Oklahoma. They were up 5-1, end up getting tied 6-6. And in the ninth inning, Oklahoma walked them off earlier today on a base hit up the middle. So Nebraska's bullpen still trying to find their way. But I mean, you look at the schedule against three tough Big 12 opponents in that tournament with Tennessee, Oregon, Texas Tech, Baylor, Nebraska, Oklahoma. I mean, that's a tough gauntlet to look through. And so being able to play two, especially really big Big 12 teams and compete the way they did, that's good to open up the season. They got Grand Canyon coming up this week on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 4 games in Arizona.
And I'd still say, I think a lot of organizations are still trying to find, their bullpen guys. Obviously, since it's the first opening weekend, you're trying out different dudes. But I've seen a lot of the games this weekend. I've seen guys pitch 5-6 pitches. And they're like, all right, switch them out. And it's kind of like, okay, like you're not really letting them get in the groove. But I think they're just really trying to cycle through, see who's going to be kind of their anchor guys, who's their starters. Obviously, let them ride if they're doing well. But otherwise, I feel like a lot of guys really didn't have a super long leash for the most part. But
which, I mean, why would you for the first week? I mean, especially starters, because I was watching some of the Baylor-Nebraska game, and both starters, I think through 6 innings, had not yet allowed more than 1 hit apiece. And both starters had double-digit Ks. And I mean, that to come out in game 1, and especially in a pitcher's duel like that, that's huge. Nebraska's pitcher ends up getting pulled. I think Will Bolt set a 80 pitch limit for his starters or just for anybody else coming out of the pen. So that was big that Bolt stood by that, and it ends up coming up big for Nebraska as well. But teams that did good over the weekend, TCU ends up completing their full weekend with a sweep over Florida Gulf Coast. The Horned Frogs are looking strong, especially with the bats. They hit lights out against Florida Gulf Coast, and especially coming up, I think it was a 9-2. They were down by like 6 runs.
It came yesterday. Back from that, and it was like a 10-4 or some shit.
I
think they came back on Friday and Saturday.
I do believe so as well, yeah.
How about Texas, though?
Texas ended up falling to San Diego.
Yeah. Hook 'em, baby. Hook 'em right to the loser column.
The long ball is still live or die for Texas, even after Ivan Melendez.
Do you know why San Diego cannot make it to the playoffs? Or to
San Diego?
Yeah. I read somewhere that they aren't able to make it this year.
I don't know why this year specifically. I thought they made like the regional.
They made it last year.
San Diego?
I believe so. I believe San Diego made it last year to the regionals.
Like Santa Barbara did. I don't think San Diego did.
Let me look here.
I know they made it way back when like Chris Bryant played for them. That was a big one. But I don't know. Are they dropping?
No, it's because they reclassified to D1. So they can't play. They can't play in the NCAA championship until the 2025 season. And they can't play in the postseason.
Did they drop down to D2?
No, they came up.
So they had dropped down to. When did they drop down to D2 and then come up?
I thought I saw San Diego. Well, I guess I didn't see San Diego last year. I thought I saw them prior.
So looking at some of the upsets over the weekend, then Wake Forest beat the piss out of Akron. Oh my god! James Madison ended up upsetting Arkansas 7-3 on Saturday. Northeastern got beat by Arizona 9-3. So we talked about Northeastern just a little bit and some of their preseason All-Americans. Kansas still continues to suck at baseball. They lost 13-6 to UIC. Oh, Notre Dame. And did they wait? No, they played today. What are we doing?
We are going all out.
Yeah, we've been locked in, dude. Just absolutely locked in.
We have been locked in.
Yeah, so
Virginia also a ranked team with a sweep as well this week, which is good.
Duke
Ranked teams are still coming out on top. UCLA had a final yesterday against Gonzaga. TCU we talked about with a sweep. Talk about Lehigh though. Lehigh has not beaten back-to-back Big Ten teams or beaten a Big Ten team since 2008 and ended up getting 2 wins over a Big Ten team this weekend. So Lehigh on a roll with a win against Iowa as well today.
Yeah, that was today. So yesterday, we did have VCU ended up beating NC State 9-6. Stony Brook beat Purdue. Interesting.
Purdue sucks at everything except for basketball.
FAU ended up beating Vanderbilt 5-4 on Saturday. Campbell beat Santa Barbara, like we talked about. Indiana beat Coastal Carolina. San Diego beat over there, Texas Mikey? In final in 11.
I'm just being spoken over, so I'm not talking.
I'm trying to read this list.
Here, I'll do this.
Wait, what?
Mikey muted himself for those of you not watching the podcast.
Oklahoma ended up beating Tennessee in 10 innings. Some games get canceled.
That Tennessee-Oklahoma game defensively was huge. LSU put the beat down on today, 27-5 of the victory.
Really, Santa Barbara, that first game beat Campbell 20-8. So maybe they just gave up the second game.
Second game and the third one.
Oregon State had a 15-2 win. We talked about. St. John's upset we talked about already. Arizona again beating Northeastern. So I think it might have just been that they came into the rankings a little hot. But who knows? I mean, maybe Arizona's good. California beat Kansas State. Yeah, that's it for upsets that I've seen.
You're done talking now.
Proceed.
I was going to say the San Diego moved in 2020.
Down
D2 to D1.
D2 to D1? So then how did it... All right.
So they're done with their reclassification on July 1 of this year.
That's weird if they reclassified to a D1 that they should have a waiting period that's that long.
Well, it's just like who the hell just did it in football?
Augustana.
No, fuck them. Who cares?
Oh, are you talking about James Madison?
James Madison.
Yeah.
James Madison got a bowl game though this year.
Yeah, but I thought they weren't supposed to.
They weren't supposed to, but they got put in for an NCAA petition based on everything that was going on because Pat McAfee was all over that. ESPN was actually all over it because they were going undefeated and continuing their D2 or I think they moved up from D1 FCS to FBS.
Probably.
Which was the biggest thing about it. Clemson also this week had a sweep over Xavier, so they started the season out undefeated as well. The ACC was red hot this weekend.
Hold on. We had to see something. We had to look at something.
What are we looking at here, Michael?
Yep, and kick him from the
and you're banned.
And you're banned.
See you later, bud. I was going to say let's trash on the Pac-12, but you can't right now.
Yeah, the Pac-12 actually kind of was opening up a little bit, and you should give the Pac-12 a little bit of respect this year since it's the last year of the conference.
No.
No.
Good riddance. See you later, Stinky.
Why would I do that?
Show some sympathy, man.
Fuck them.
Wow. What?
I
Who
honestly
crapped in
don't
your
know. I don't know
cornflakes
what
today?
what
I
the
hate
Pac-12 ever did to him.
that
It's just like an
conference
absolute
about
vendetta.
as much as you love the Hook'em Horns.
I feel like Mikey has like a poster
Like
above his
this.
bed that's just the Pac-12, and he just wakes up and just like punches it in the morning.
It's actually right here above my
"Ew."
monitor. It's the Pac-12 with an X across it. It's pretty
What,
legendary.
can we dive into this a little bit on your personal
No.
vendetta against the Pac-12? Why?
It's
Do you have
awful.
a valid reason?
The conference is trash. I'd rather watch the Mountain West.
So
Why do you like Texas?
2005, Vince Young, when I was like 6.
Football?
Vince Young.
It's a more valid reason than the Pac-12 being trash. I mean, we can still go through some of the Pac-12 champions. Oregon
Sure.
State went back-to-back in late 2000s,
I
early.
mean, you can talk about
Close to your
Arizona.
butt.
They won
Arizona
more
won.
recently than
Close your book.
Washington has competed for a national title this last year.
Yeah,
in
how'd
football.
that go for him?
Still went better than probably what Florida State did, considering the fact that 90% of their team decided to up ship and go.
How can they do better than Florida State? Florida State didn't even get a chance. But so we're just gonna move on.
You can make the argument on that one.
There's no argument to be made. Washington, Pac-12, Texas.
Where's Old Dominion? I don't see Old Dominion in a ranking yet.
Yeah,
I
because
see
we're
Texas
hated.
and multiple Pac-12 teams.
We're used and abused. I want to tell you. Undefeated.
I think you just got to
Undefeated,
play
never
better.
lost. Undefeated, never lost.
We got some games coming up tomorrow on Monday. Oregon State, number 7, goes to Minnesota. And
Close.
this game is in Arizona. Arkansas has James Madison hosted one more time. Central Arkansas plays LSU. Going through the American Conference, Indiana State has South Florida. Rhode Island has UT Rio Grande Valley. And that is pretty much BYU has Grand Canyon tomorrow. West Virginia has a doubleheader against Stetson. The Hatters coming to town, or West Virginia going to Stetson. Cal State Fullerton, San Jose State, another historic team that comes to Omaha, New Mexico. CSU Bakersfield, Utah Valley versus California Riverside, Marshall, Charleston, South Dakota State versus New Mexico State. And in the Horizon League, Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Murray State. That kind of rounds out the rest of the games for tomorrow. Southern Miss also plays Air Force at 5 in the Mountain West, because Mikey loves the Mountain West Conference now. He might switch from being an Old Dominion fan. Oh, yeah, by the way, I like to call bandwagon on the Old Dominion fan.
Why?
when
Only started liking
going
him since
strong
we did
for
the podcast.
3 years.
Yeah,
Only started
they
liking him
can't be
since the
bandwagon.
podcast.
I've been
Bandwagon.
here through the highs and the
You're
lows,
not even
bud.
from Texas. Like, I don't know why.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, and you hopped on when Vince Young was good. Get the fuck out of here, kid.
I was 6. This is a different excuse. You're
I don't
24,
care. I don't care if
25.
you're 7 years old, 6 months old, 2 days. No, see you later.
Dude, I've been following Texas a lot longer than you've been following Old
Yeah,
Dominion.
but when did you start?
Told you, 2005.
When they were good?
First game I ever watched in Texas was they beat Colorado 73-3. Yeah,
Bandwagon.
first
Good,
time you ever watched Old Dominion was back
I
in.
believe that's called checkmate.
I believe I still have a valid point.
No,
I've been
you
going
don't.
through a lot more than you have.
You know, I was still rooting Old Dominion when they were getting their ass kicked last year. What were you doing with Texas? Huh?
I'm still rooting for
Just-
Texas.
Fucking
College football
Glock.
playoff.
This episode is also sponsored by Sonic and their chocolate covered strawberry shake.
The random sponsorships that are
Thank
not
you.
sponsors. By the
They
way.
are.
By the way, this episode is sponsored
They
by
are.
Sonic.
Sonic literally has told me, bash Nick because he's a bandwagon Texas fan, and pick up Old Dominion because they're the goated Lions. Here we are. I'm doing as requested.
Use code no place like Homaha. Give them the horns down, and you get a free ocean water. That's
Mm-hmm.
it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried it. I've done it on multiple occasions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can also kick Nick in the balls if you see him.
Yep.
And that's
you
a free
ocean
$10
water.
gift card to Dunkin' these nuts in his mouth.
Respect.
Unless we have any viewers in Iowa, I think my Nads are safe, boys.
Watch
We have viewers all over the world.
Be in Iowa.
Anyways,
might be hunted.
so yeah, looking at the games, when does conference play start?
Conference
play
is 7 days.
It's a few
They all
weeks.
start at different times.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
sir.
Nebraska, looking at their schedule, they got conference starting. They open up
March
against Northwestern on March 28th.
March 8th is the stupid Pac-12.
So into March, we'll get conference play. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to cover the Pac-12 this year, though. So
that'll be. I mean, I don't really see a reason why we should. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
The Pac-12.
I also don't think we should cover Texas at all.
Well,
I agree with that.
If they're ranked.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I would say we do.
We could actually drop our own rankings.
We didn't talk about South Carolina today. They're ranked. We didn't talk about NC State today. They're ranked.
We actually did talk about NC State.
They lost.
Fact check.
Rewind the tape right now. Show me.
Josh literally said the scores of NC State.
Flip it.
Don't recall.
Maybe if you open up your ears.
So yeah, looking ahead to that, that'll be good.
Bambi's closed today. Thanks for coming.
All I'm watching now, got whack action. Pepperdine versus California Baptist.
Both teams better in Texas.
Pepperdine in the past has been actually pretty good.
Pepperdine is very good historically.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the updates we kind of have. Just looking ahead to more play. There's plenty of teams still in play for the undefeated season. Old Dominion being one of them, on the hunt for a perfect record.
Not?
And
go on, Nick, say it.
We'll be
I'm just letting you run it, man.
Humor us. Who is it?
Texas is not undefeated.
There you go. I'm so proud of you. Now do it with me. Do it with me.
I'm not even looking at the screen right now. I'm looking at scores for the weekend to possibly go over.
Oh, right here. Right here. Follow me. Eyes up. Eyes front and center, bud.
I got it.
Cody.
And you take it and you go. All
right.
Good. We got part of it. Now follow me. Take it and point it at the screen.
I think a big game to look for this weekend is East Carolina versus North Carolina. 11 versus 14. And the rankings will obviously change throughout some of these, but they might not even after the first weekend. UCLA and Fort Worth going to TCU. That should be a great series as well. Oregon State has Arkansas at Globe Life Field in Arlington to open up the weekend. That should be a huge matchup between Oregon State and Arkansas, rematch back from 2016. Texas has Cal Poly. Got to throw that one in there. UC Santa Barbara has Sacramento State. Vanderbilt hosts Gonzaga in Nashville for the weekend. Tennessee has Albany. South Carolina has Belmont. There you go. We'll toss in a South Carolina game in there for you, Mikey. LSU with Stony Brook. Coastal Carolina plays host to Illinois in your old Conway.
Kanye? What?
Conway, South Carolina.
Kanye, South Carolina?
So, yep.
You know, bought his own town?
Probably. He bought his own ranch in Wyoming.
Did you see his Super Bowl commercial?
No, I did not. I don't care to see Conway.
Kanye, bud.
You said it wrong the other way, so now I'm saying it wrong this way.
Another
let us be on the show together.
Good game to watch. Will definitely be Iowa and Auburn.
And Old Dominion Rutgers.
Old Dominion Rutgers will be a good game. They're both undefeated. So it'll be good watch. But Auburn being good SEC opponents. That'll be the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic that'll be opening up. And we got a lot of classics. So this be good. TCU UCLA, if you didn't mention that, that'll be a good one. Oregon State and Arkansas, another good game to watch. Again, those will be in tournament play. So we'll see kind of a round robin with that.
Yankee knows that you already said those, Nick.
I
know. I'm just like reinforcing it. And then you got Michigan, Oregon State, Iowa, Virginia, Saturday.
That one could be a really good game.
Be a good game.
Don't worry, Old Dominion will beat them up.
Oh, UCLA and TCU is actually just a series. Okay. Okay.
Arkansas plays Oklahoma State for the second day at Globe Life on Saturday as well. That could be really good. Oklahoma State normally good down the stretch in the supers as well. Northeastern has Minnesota and Fort Myers on Saturday for day 2.
We have them Sunday.
They have them Sunday as well. So Minnesota plays.
I'm a day behind.
Minnesota plays, I know, or they play Oregon State on Monday. And then Clemson has Kennesaw State.
Ooh, we got a rematch. Stony Brook LSU.
Oh, dang.
That'll be on Sunday.
Give me Stony Brook, baby.
Throwback to way back when they beat them in Death Valley. Otherwise, there's a lot to be excited about.
Duke has a series with
Oklahoma State,
Northwestern.
Oregon State. That'll be a good one. And Virginia Auburn. Yep. So that Jacksonville College Baseball Classic and the Kubota College Baseball Series. Yep.
Good weekend for college baseball.
Yeah, we'll have a few of those, and then down the stretch, hopefully get a few more. Especially, I just love it when conference play opens up. In all honesty, like I like these tournaments and stuff early because then you see opponents you're not gonna see in the regular season, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like, especially watching like the SEC, is just a dogfight throughout the season.
Really separates the winners from the losers.
All right. Do you have anything else to add?
Feel like we'll have more stats as they come. The first weekend is always just a little bit barren. You always got to like some big pimping performances, and you got to like teams getting upset in the first week. But coming down the stretch, we'll see how she ends out.
Still a lot to be desired. All right. So if you haven't already, you can subscribe, like this video. We are no place like Homaha. You can view us on Twitter and TikTok at Homaha Pod. Shout out our sponsor, Cronio Media. They're alongside us, put us out on all platforms. Thank you to them. You can also use the code Cronio Media, all one word, on Shankit, Golf, and Dubby for 10 to 15% off any orders that you may have. We really like to spread love on this podcast.
I could be given a different platform.
You know what? I have a sign. I actually have a ring. You know what it says?
Don't say
ELE.
It says what?
ELE. Everybody love everybody.
And that's good. I can't. And that's good.
All right. We will catch you guys again next week.
You can do this. I believe in you.
We're struggling.
Come on, figure it out.
Okay, yep. We'll see
We're
you next
such
week.
a professional podcast.